Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you, and good morning, Egypt. And now, of course, as we, marking the 13th anniversary of the June 30th revolution, as well as highlighting all the developments witnessed yesterday in a very important inauguration of the Octagon, described as the brain of the Egyptian state. We are now delighted to be joined live over Zoom by our guest, Dr. Mohamad Hashim, Professor of Mass Communication and our media expert. Dr. Mohamad, good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having me on your fabulous morning show.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your time, and thank you for joining us on Good Morning Egypt. Now, of course, before we get into the role of the media and the importance of the media, whether mainstream or even social media, let's talk a bit about the headquarters that were inaugurated yesterday by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Of course, a highly integrated facility intended to support rapid and informed decision-making during both normal operations and during times of emergencies. How do you see yesterday's event and the importance of this strategic development, sir?
Obviously, it's very symbolic day for Egypt, and obviously, a history in the making. It keeps changing over time, and it's very symbolic for the world to see and the region to see. The advancements that have happened over the last 13 years, especially since the 30th of June.
Indeed. Now, Dr. Mohamad, as a media expert yourself, how do you see how this event was broadcast with regards to international media as well as regional media? There was lots of coverage, of course, on the inauguration of the Octagon in Egypt. How do you see the different perceptions and the way that the media recorded this event?
So national media plays a key role in protecting public awareness by providing verified information and reducing uncertainty. So the inauguration of the Octagon is another reason and view to the world to see that we are very stable country. We have been for many years, and it's just another proof of the stability in the region from Egypt. And obviously the building of the administrative capital has confirmed that much more. So the Western media looking at Egypt now is definitely looking at Egypt in a very different light, in a very good light. And the inauguration symbolizes, from a media perspective, to the national media, local media and international media, how stable Egypt has become and how strong it has also become. And it's a very, very symbolic and important day.
Indeed, Doctor. Now let's talk a bit about as well the role of the media with regards to facing what is dubbed the fourth and fifth generation wars. Mainstream media has a role to play, but so does social media.
Yeah, definitely. So this is called agenda setting theory in media. So it helps the public focus attention on factual issues rather than misinformation. So while framing this theory, it provides context and prevents manipulation. So the fourth and fifth generation warfare is basically a warfare on misinformation and to confuse people and to give people the wrong information to destabilize nations. And it's obviously the media's role to clarify this sort of information by protecting public awareness and providing verified information and obviously reducing uncertainty. That's the main role.
Indeed, Doctor, and this is, of course, a very important issue, the verification of the information, the sources of the information. In your opinion, Doctor, how vital is it to quickly refute rumors or the spreading of untrue information, etc.? How important is it to have a quick response to stuff like rumors?
Well, basically for the media to achieve its role in deterring uncertainty from a media perspective, you need to know who intentionally uses misinformation. You need to know who these parties are, the people that perform the propaganda and the psychological operations that create this division. And this weakens trust and destabilizes society. So the media needs to identify first who these parties are. And these parties obviously exploit social media, algorithms, fake accounts, AI-generated content, and then refute that with new content. So it needs to be a response to what's being given. It's like being in a courtroom where you have two parties, for and against. The person for sets his case or her case. The other party needs to know what that case is to be able to refute it. So you need to know what's being said and how it's being generated, and then you need to refute that with new content, and it needs to be on the same level and standard of quality also. But you need to know what's being said so you can respond to it.
Absolutely, Doctor. Let's talk a bit as well about the role of the media when it comes to the role of media institutions, specifically in supporting issues related to national security, for example, through professional coverage of events and up-to-date coverage of developments.
Yeah, so the solution would be probably not censorship, but transparency. So you need to follow social responsibility theory. So the media should verify facts, that should correct errors promptly, straight away, preferably, like I said, in a transparent way, and distinguish clearly between news, opinion, and speculation while preserving, I guess, freedom of expression. Yes.
Indeed. Dr. Mohamad, of course, a very big argument is the issue of achieving balance. In your opinion, Doctor, how can we achieve balance between the freedom of media and the national responsibility, especially in times of crises? And we've seen how, the recent developments and events in the region with the outbreak of several wars, conflicts, unrest, etc. There's a very big role and responsibility of media outlets to keep this balance between freedom of media as well as their national responsibility.
Yes, again, this also comes to how to control and curtail the spreading of rumours and influencing public opinion. So social media obviously has become the main battleground because information spreads rapidly with social media, all the sending and all the trends. So it needs, and there's no gatekeeping when it comes to social media. So the gatekeeping theory in media explains how traditional editorial filters have weakened, while the two-step flow theory highlights the influence of online personalities and influence. So you need to, again, be able to respond quickly and fairly and have a balance of information from the, the normal media and also the social media. Very important.
Absolutely, Doctor. Now, of course, Egyptian media has also worked on developing its tools to cope with other modern methods. For example, the use of artificial intelligence and modern technology. How do you view, the use of artificial intelligence when it comes to media coverage? Are you pro or against? Are you from the school of thought that thinks artificial intelligence will replace media professionals one day?
It's happening very quickly and very rapidly, and people are enjoying what's happening, actually. Some people are enjoying all the different, the ability to create news and to create animation and stories on the go without using the facility of a traditional studio like we use. So some people are enjoying it, but obviously it does create a sea of misinformation and a sea of mistrust, and it's always good to have the traditional media as the core of honesty and of the sort of the right way to look at news. So obviously traditional media is important, but it also needs to incorporate. You can't ignore AI, even as traditional media. It's like in 1900 when you had the horse and cart, and it went to the car. You can't ignore the evolution of the car. You need to incorporate it into society. So traditional media needs to incorporate some of the AI facilities, not all of it, especially like, news reporters and anchors. They still need to remain human, but getting information from AI and using it for, infographics and animation, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It helps. Things that used to take 5 days can now take 5 minutes, so there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's used in the right way. It's like the definition of how to use a knife. You can either use a knife to kill someone, stab someone, or you can use it to cut tomato and make a very nice salad. So it's all about awareness, and to have awareness you need education and on how to use it and why to use it.
Indeed, Dr. Mohamad, very important notes there on how to use and incorporate the artificial intelligence and technological advancements, and also use them to your advantage, keeping in mind, of course, that at the end of the day, the human mind is the main driver or the main force behind the news. Now, let's talk a bit about the role of the media with regards to coverage of the regional developments and crises. Lots of different media outlets have brought us information, footage, news regarding the ongoing war with their different, of course, ideologies and editorials, etc. How do you see the coverage, and how important is it for someone who consumes the media to have awareness and to balance out the different sources of information?
Yes, so me as a media expert and I continuously watch all sorts of media. It's good to look at Western media and find out the left side of media and then the right side of media. There's, left as in CNN, and then the right as in Fox News. You need to look at both, and then look at other countries also and try to find the honesty or the truth in the middle. So the key would be to watch all sorts of media. Traditional media, and then obviously social media, and don't judge quickly, don't come to an opinion quickly. You need to navigate the internet completely, use all different types of social media, and also return back to the traditional media, whether it's on television or newspaper, even if it's online, and check different sources. I guess the biggest mistake that everyone makes is they read one piece of news somewhere, or they see something somewhere, and they resend it or they repost it straight away. And obviously with rumors, it circulates very quickly, and sometimes people can believe rumors very quickly, and that's what they call rumors. They thrive. So there's something called dependency theory, which basically in a crisis, people rely heavily on trusted information sources, and that always goes back to traditional media. When there's a crisis, people always return back to the national state media, which is fabulous. It's the honest and the credible media that we need to always go back to.
Indeed, right. Finally, Dr. Mohamad, and very quickly because we're running out of time, could you tell us, in your opinion, what are some of the major challenges still facing national media outlets?
I think the incorporation of new media. So the incorporation of new media is very important. We're used to, obviously, the studio setup and all the traditional media. We need to look at social media. We need to look at things like, obviously, TikTok and Instagram. The speed of the new media, the generations, like the new generation Z now, they don't have time to watch a full half-an-hour episode and listen to long-winded answers. They want 30-second responses. They want it quickly. The way it's filmed, the way it's edited, the sound used, the images used have to be very catchy and trendy. And that's what traditional media needs to adopt, because the new generation, the age of 18 to 22, they do not have time to listen to long answers and traditional visuals. And
Right,
yeah,
so we'll leave it at that. We've run out of time. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Mohamad, the Hashim Professor of Mass Communication and our media expert. Many thanks, sir, for your time and your insight, and for joining us on this morning's episode of Good Morning Egypt.